was casting that series, Mimi.
It very well could have been, but now they're both here in the first playoff match for their respective squads and going to unfamiliar territory in Sunset. First time that G2 have had to show this map, and it's kind of a funky comp to get used to here.
Yeah, G2 had only played 4 maps here in America's Stage 2, now adding a 5th to the pool with Sunset. So we load on in. Some interesting choices for G2, but 100 Thieves, like Wyatt was talking about on the desk, have been very strong on this map and also been a little shaky at times.
They have, for G2, 75% pistol win rate. They've been so good at these preset ideas, and they head down mid.
Yeah, Babybay already down into tiles. The camera not going to spot him. It's on the other side. And it doesn't seem like 100 Thieves have really expected this. With the amount of noise Jogmo created on the other side, Babybay has a chance to stab 3 players in the back. 1, 2, almost a third. That's a great shot for G2.
But enough damage, and there's this Sage wall in main. It's such a debilitating tool to try and get past when you only have classics.
Knife it down. Busted on through. G2 already with that information can start moving onto the site.
Look how worried EU is, though. He's having to full re-clear through spawn. They're cautious that someone is still embedded into mid. They're going to have to waste probably half of the time left just to figure out if anyone is embedded in a weird spot.
And it's because Kess died, right? You're Cypher, so you don't have that tripwire guarding the A main push. You don't have the cam in mid to see if there's going to be a re-peek. But now with 45 seconds left, Mimi, 100 Thieves are in 3 different places. Where do they go from here?
Yeah, Cryo gets spotted out in mid. Looks like they want to group and turn this into a B split. Smoke on recharge, that'll go top mid.
And that door to market is low.
But these players are going to fight through.
Yeah, little fight into the smoke. 1-for-1 is not really good enough for 100 Thieves. Although pressure mounts onto Jonah P, who now knows there's a player still in mid ready to bust down the door. And a paranoia into the space. Jonah P buying some time, and the rest of his teammates come on through. This flash from Cryo isn't going to get him anywhere. We're down to 10 seconds on this pistol. Where G2 have dominated all stage long. Well, Xander finds a kill. That clock starts to tick away. Can't finish it off. Jonah P will see this for G2.
Jonah just puts the slip on him in market there. Dancing all the way around, staying alive. And another pistol round 1 for G2. Another nice set strat to work with there. And that's some of the creativity this chamber can bring on in. You can get those aggressive looks. You can 4-1 and have him solo anchoring one side. You can float the trip out towards mid. It gives so many options in creative defensive setups, which, you know, a guy like Josh is going to love to play with.
Smile on his face, seeing the Valo plant come to fruition there and pay off, because Jogamo ran down through mid, then closed the market door and he retreats. So 100 Thieves think it's just going to be a passive look. Same idea here on the pathing.
He looks like a pretty much a manual Yoru clone, but playing the Neon instead.
Except this time, Babybay all the way back on B site with the Outlaw in hand. Would be ready to cut down 100 Thieves as they committed in.
G2. Something to keep your eyes on this half is what timings they're going to place that Sage Wall on. How long can they afford to wait? Because if you're throwing that down with 40 seconds on the clock and it's never going to naturally decay, does so much, places it at a minute 10 there.
Yeah, 108 on that one. That's 100 Thieves, similar pattern here. Paranoia into the site. Jogmo lives with just a sliver of HP. Trent has now showed up in back Boba. Try and stop the advance of 100 Thieves, who have made it out onto the site. Babybay holding here as another goes G2's way. This pistol round is getting a little bit messy. 100 Thieves putting down some good damage. Trying to get this spike actually planted now that G2 have showed up 4 players in. This volley of utility has brought Cryo and Xander incredibly low. EU actually fighting back with a shock dart of his own. 3-on-3, things are close.
G2's going to regroup. Try and work their way back through as 100 Thieves full post for a backside fight. No one's looking for this right now.
Valen without an angle currently, and Cryo's actually dealt with spawn. So now just these 2 players of G2's, 2 stingers in hand, brought down even. Jonah P brings it into a one-on-one now, and Valen to try and keep the start of this half looking good for G2. Pulls away from the spike, that clock continues to tick, and Xander gives up his spot with a reload, but there's no time left here. Xander into the thick of things, and 100 Thieves steal away a Thrifty.
Somehow make that one work. 100 Thieves dance around the time, and G2 run out of options. It was a round that started quite nicely for them, getting that space through mid and opening pick as well out of Babybay before he fell back, but 100 Thieves just take so much space, and in indexing into this second Sentinel, you give up a lot of that oomph to go for set retakes.
That seemed like, well, some nice shock darts from EU, but a lot of G2 players being in positions where they weren't immediately able to be traded out by a teammate. They were stacked next to each other, but not necessarily playing the most complementary of angles.
Bit of a stack towards B from G2.
Asuna blitzing on in there, but stunned on the other side. Good thing EU is there to hold his duelist out of there as the rest of 100 Thieves just come sprinting into this site. I mean, there's nothing G2 can do even with the stack.
These two comps in the same meta show such a different read. For 100 Thieves, it's a team that have fully indexed into the double duelists, into the brawly type of comps, putting both Cryo and Asuna on those comfort roles as much as possible. Versus a G2 who is continued to want to play this control style, double controller, double senti. They don't play any double duelists in a world where that's starting to look like maybe the most popular comp in VCT Americas.
It's still an interesting idea here, G2 playing double senti, but the lowest information sentis you can manage. See how they manage against the early fights 100 Thieves continue to look for. This time just teasing towards elbow, but keep your eyes on Jog. He's just on the other side of this one way, but pulls back into the site.
You don't use a lot for that initial fight, just putting a smoke down towards elbow, but maintaining most of this space. This is a very comfortable setup for G2, playing double senti. They have this trip to up mid. That means two can lean towards B, and you can keep this heavier stack as they push towards a reclear.
Dog is going to see one as now the stuns are traded back. A little bit of a seize. Catches on a couple members of 100 Thieves. Still advancing. Jogamo lights him up. These shock darts not finding their mark this time around. G2 very much in a comfortable position.
A little disconnected there from 100 Thieves. I don't think Cryo realized his teammates were seized off and couldn't trade.
And with a Sage Wall being put down in B main, G2 know that 100 Thieves have to continue in here. We're down to under 40 seconds on the clock, and none of the Sentinel utility has been dealt with. Even this reclear gives G2 perfect info.
They'll leave Jaw posted. The rest of these players start to rotate back. It's a strong setup on the B side, and Baby Bay in the hot seat.
3 rounds in a row. 100 Thieves have cut back through mid into market. This time Baby Bay is here, but has to pull away from the angle. Now Asuna sprinting up through main will be slowed down. The rest of the team hasn't actually made it out of the market. G2 making minced meat 100 Thieves. ZU left to watch his teammates fall.
Rounds like this are a theme of 100 Thieves' calling style since the mid-season changes. They play a lot of these very grouped 4-1 start of rounds, like you're talking about there, where they're either freezing and re-hitting into the 4, or having to re-clear as a pack in going back into those pivots. Kess as a lurker doesn't tend to be hyper-aggressive in the lines he's taking, so it's a little less often that they're going to have a super deep lurk to call back into. And well, if you're a team like G2 that is super patient, you can just buy your time, go for a well-timed re-clear, and get practically full information in a late round.
Yeah, if Kess is going to activate, it'll be much later into those rounds. We'll see what 100 Thieves now do towards B main. Have shown this look a couple of times, and Jonah P has been left a little bit islanded here, but we'll have the Sage slows to make sure he can't be accelerated on too quickly. See if he just drops that down, even if he's tagged up by the dart. Can always call in Baby Bay for support.
So 100 Thieves get the orb. This round, more spread in the default.
This is what you're talking about, though, with 100 Thieves. Show a little bit of presence early on, freeze, regroup.
And go for your re-hit.
Yeah, dimensional drift to get them in a sight should be free enough.
Yeah, have the combo with EU as well. They're going to try and find a target, and
I see the target, it's Valen.
unfortunately, he has the TPs. He's probably the best suited to escape from a play like that, and Cryo's not actually going to find him. Paths the other way, and only gets the sight.
Yeah, nerfs to the duration there, make it harder to scale on forward back into spawn. That's her G2. Why, with 3 members, nice little pen through the wall there. Had the reveal and a Hunter's Fury to follow. G2, quick footwork in the back of sight, but Trent has managed to trade back into Asuna. And now a resurrection. 100 Thieves need to plant the spike, need to deal with that res. They ignore it for now. And spread apart. 3 players all on their own for the time being. While G2 slowly work their way in. Biding their time, playing off one of another. Well, Baby Bay distracts in market. Trent and Valen have found their mark into the site. EU again just a little bit pushed away from the rest of the party. Wasn't invited. And G2 will take their third.
Something 100 Thieves are going to have to start thinking about is on these late executes, figuring out when that Sage Wall is going down. Because the common theme of these last 2 rounds is G2 late on, facing one main, realizing no one's there, walling it off, and having a super heavy rotate in to flood before 100 Thieves is even fully on site.
And this is working because you have a guy like Kez who's not taking the aggressive lurk, so he's not in the space. You have other guys that are trying to lurk B main or something like this that would hear that wall go down, that could put some bullets into it, threaten breaking it. Less of an option when 100 Thieves are playing more stacked on each other.
It was a good attempt to try and bail themselves out with the Sova ult fighting into CT, but G2 just had too many members there ready to swing in conjunction, and Six is going to call a timeout pretty early here.
Money a bit chopped for 100 Thieves. Looking at putting together an eco round here while some ultimates start to come online for G2, a Nightfall for Trent, and I think the way G2 have been reacting around the map, utilizing a lot of the fast rotates, whether it's Baby quickly teleporting back and on the rotate, Jogamo sprinting across, they always have players ready to flood into sight.
Yeah, so I think you want to see 100 Thieves that is willing to, in these rounds where they're not just full sending a hit, to slow things down a little bit more and put more of a presence in having players late in main to contest that stage, break the wall. Because once that wall is broken, the Sage as an agent has so much less utility than something like a Vise who's going to have flashes and thorns to continue to hold on to the site.
Especially when at the start of a lot of these rounds with 100 Thieves defaulting into B main, Jonah P's having to drop down one of those slow orbs already. So only usually has one later in the round if 100 Thieves are looking to come back in towards B. Check out Baby's gun situation at the moment. Outlaw for him against the light armors of 100 Thieves.
There are some maps where you can take off the names, and if you're just looking at like the positioning and the buys, it's like, that could be Leaf.
He's locking in chamber every round. We're back to the pistol for Jogamo.
He loves this pathing. Third time he's done it. TP up mid for Xander.
Xander up in the thick of things, but he's slowed down for the time being. Chooses not to advance on in. Market is going to be the focus for 100 Thieves.
We got a slow orb.
Yeah,
all good.
We also have that Sage wall in B main where there's just one guy. EU, he doesn't want to break that down.
G2's fighting up.
100 Thieves are waiting for the reclear. They're in exactly the right position for this, but they don't have the weaponry. First shot traded out evenly, and now G2 having a couple members. Attack from top mid. Valen is just full confidence. Mowing down 100 Thieves, making quick work out of the eco.
They bait out the Siege util that round, but look at Baby. He walked into A main, was holding that line the entire time, and despite Jonah being under pressure to use so much utility, yet again, there was proactive rotates to support him there.
One of the things when I was able to listen in on G2's comms back during stage 1 and listen to like what Leaf actually brought to this team was he was so often trying to encourage his teammates to take like more forward angles and fight with confidence. And oftentimes he'd be in a spot like that where Baby, you know, you're pushing through the mains, getting info for the rest of your squad. So far we've seen a couple of times G2 take advantage of the extremities.
Bit of a quicker open from 100 Thieves towards A main. They don't commit into it. Pressure that someone's walked up elbow, but maybe they repost on the line and realize no one's actually taken that space.
And that's with the operator. So he upgrades from the Outlaw.
A super passive angle. He was expecting something towards A.
But it pays off because G2 had maybe some ideas to fight aggressively into B main if 100 Thieves were to go there with Jogamo in position. But here we go. Baby holding the line and quick with it too. That smoke's gone.
And what a rough player to lose, right? With this comp as well, not just the smokes, but that paranoia would have been excellent if you're committing to a hard A hit.
He didn't even have to teleport out either, so he just falls back to a deeper line.
G2 have found the lurk in mid. They can go for a flush play onto Kess.
Well, they're trying to flush out Baby, who's stuck on top of the box. Still manages to get away. The Jogamo deals with that lurk into mid, and now G2 can set their sights back onto A. Nightfall's tagged up just about everyone on the side. That wasn't even the Nightfall. Here it comes now, as a matter of fact. That second wave for G2. Jogamo already quick into the site. Laser beams out and ready. And there's nobody home. Just this player in elbow. Asuna bow down and Cryo on the side. Will not get it done for 100 Thieves.
Completely scattered by the Fatal. The critical part of that round, outside of even Baby's opener, is taking the time to, instead of insta-rotating into A, when there was already so much pressure there from the chamber, prowling mid, finding Kess on the lurk, and killing him. Once Kess is dead, 100 Thieves have absolutely zero options. Here's that kill I'm talking about. They're forced to hard commit into A, and G2 have every tool to win the round with that ult combo.
And 100 Thieves were really hoping to just be able to slowly contact up into the site before popping in. But now that you have the threat of these passive op lines from Baby, you have to give that respect over. and actually use a lot more utility. Sell your idea, your hand of where you're actually headed early on into the rounds. Is Asuna going to be doing a bit of that now into market? Got a shotgun ready to go, but it's not going to do anything. It's Baby on the other side with a judge. 100 Thieves are dropping like flies. Xander was able to ult into the back of the site, but with a stinger in hand, with no pressure coming out from main, he's got to go back and deal with Baby first.
But this is a judge. How do you get through?
Well, I don't like your odds. Xander will manage it, but not before the rest of G2 showed up to the fight. High-low, lights out.
G2 do a great job of juggling around where their Senti setups are. That round switching Baby onto B main, putting the Sage actually starting top mid, showing a slow orb to support the player in market. And Jaw doing such a good job to hold that down. It was just an anti-eco, but this is now 5 rounds, 1 in a row. 100 Thieves yet to find a solution.
Yeah, the alarming thing for 100 Thieves is they keep trying these mid-round fights into market, and I think it only worked on the pistol round,
yes.
or the eco round after they lost pistol. They actually made it through that space.
A pistol round of some variety.
Yeah, something like that. Jonah P now gonna pick up the judge.
What a change-up. You showed the op here last time,
Ooh.
the slow before, and now
the timing through the smoke! It's just a 1-for-1. But you can see 100 Thieves how cautious they are. They didn't have bodies ready to quickly scale into the site. They're scared of more players behind just that Sage.
This is the best chance 100 Thieves have had in quite some time. They have a main control. They have to go recontest that space for Kess.
Yeah, you lost the Neon. Sure, you're going to have some information coming down, but I think Neon for Sage is a trade G2 are going to take every single time. Trent here with a good seize, catches 2 players. That spike not going anywhere. As more and more time continues to tick away, now teleports into the site. My eyes are on Valen. Playing back towards spawn. Not trying to fight just yet, waiting for the rest of his team to show up.
Cryo still has an ult to fight up if they want to combo, but he gets caught by the haunt.
Every single time, no one has broken that haunt. And 100 Thieves just can't let it happen, especially with Kess falling again on the flank. Now Paranoia into the site. EU does well to hold his own. Trying to keep his team in this game against Baby on the other side, but the caster takes his head off.
And gives it to him as well. Baby comes up big to keep the train rolling for G2. And he's just yelling. I can hear him from up here.
I'm hearing don't pay attention to him.
This haunt needs to be broken. 3rd time that 100 Thieves have lost a player to that. You're playing into a comp that doesn't even have like a Yoru flash to combo. They need more bodies on site when they're going for these hits. Most of the time it's just a planter, maybe plus the Neon there, and they don't have enough hands to deal with that utility and keep losing a member to it.
Baby was upset that 100 Thieves weren't looking his way. He's trying to capture some of the trash talk we had in the series to open the day.
Here's that combo again. Can they catch a player this time?
Well, it would be Baby. A little bit tough. They've seen him on this line before, and now the Hunter's Fury misses on the first shot. That teleport would hide, actually tagged him. Just nipped at the toes, but it won't be a kill.
Set retake for G2.
And 100 Thieves want to go on the prowl, waiting for haunts from above. You can see how fearful they are of that. And as this one-way falls, this is the fight to take it all. A monster Paranoia, but a counter stun responds. G2 are ready for it. And 100 Thieves are routed. That fight goes horribly wrong. EU trading back with a shock. But they're going to need more than that, especially with Giacomo barreling into the site. 3 for him on the round, and again, Baby sails the deal.
The counter util in CT is so clean from G2. 3 of them get tagged by the Paranoia. But in comes a slow, in comes a stun as well from the Neon. And that completely turns the tide. Suddenly they're winning the fight in CT. They're the ones on the attack.
Look at it again.
Another retake. That is so beautiful.
Even if you dodge the stun, you can't go anywhere. If you dodge the slow, you're stunned.
Yeah, the slow into that smoke was great too, because there were players that were trying to get back from that CT fight and get caught in transition because of the slow. You can't fight up, you can't run back, you just die to jaw in place.
Go, go, go.
So 100 Thieves have stingers again. Have a judge for Asuna. Try to sprint up towards B main. This time, just now pulling the slow out. This slow is so annoying for Asuna to deal with.
This is basically the one agent in the game they've picked, maybe besides Vice, but even then you can shock her Thorns. They can full stop a double duelist dive like this. It's a really good pick into this.
Oh.
Comp 100 Thieves wants to play.
Baby Bay right on the other side of this wall, and he's down the line as well. There goes your duelist, so a second one has to teleport into sight. He's gone too.
And the slow cuts the other two off. Only the duelists get in, and quickly they go down.
This is just chalked.
And this is the story of the map now. The two duelists die on and execute. 100 Thieves don't have an option to fall back, and they play a 3v5 that already looks impossible.
And the thing is, this is 100 Thieves picking Sunset, noticing that 100 Thieves, or G2, they don't play this map. They have yet to play it in VCT this year. And just get smoked like this at the start is setting a very different tone than what was expected.
Jaw's just going for a walk. He's already behind them.
G2 have to know where 100 Thieves are headed. The smoke, the dart to come in. Jugamo is behind a tripwire. Then you got to start considering the other options that G2 have. The utility, a paranoia to get through, but Cass could maybe get something done with this judge. Just daring inside of the smoke, while Jaw comes around on the flank, sees the player around his left, plays that angle beautifully, and yeah, well, the judge is going to get one kill, but that's all she wrote for 100 Thieves this round.
It's just an eco round, but it's another round that ends in an A retake. The Sage pick has completely destroyed the game plan 100 Thieves want to go for. They're a team that loves stalling for a moment, going for hard rehits, but every time they go for the rehit, that second slow orb is always available. Maybe there's a wall that can get thrown up, and that's even discounting the work that Jaw and Baby Bay have done. Pretty much always getting 1 or 2 kills when holding things down. And with 1 round left in the half, 100 Thieves call a timeout.
I mean, to be fair, coming back down 10-2 is tough. We saw it already today, but Zix staking a lot on the outcome of this timeout, especially when you consider the ultimate condition on the other side. G2 have all but the Nightfall, and even that is just 1 orb away. 100 Thieves have nothing to work with, really, except for their rifles.
So what solution can you find? 100 Thieves have tried to go for these re-execs. They've tried to put a ton of pressure onto that Sage to draw out the utility. They've never found success there. And even when they're getting these clean post plants, they're getting outplayed on the retakes as well.
What's crazy to me is that 100 Thieves, for all the mid-market plays they've done, they've never once challenged top mid. We had Xander teleport into that smoke 1 time and not peek the angle. I'm very surprised with how stuck 100 Thieves have been on simply just fighting for main control round after round.
Babybay's had a trip top mid that basically every round has just gone uncontested. Sits there, holds the space.
Again, Chamber and Sage, pretty low info when you consider the Sentinel role, but when you have an unbreakable trip and a wall that never gets dealt with, they're the best.
Yeah, pretty much. G2 put their double Senti on B. 100 Thieves. Looks like they just want to full rip it into A.
See how deep Xander wants to go with the ulti. But here we have it. Quiet to start, just Cage to guard the right-hand side. G2 ready to pop on through. Good counter stun, forces Jogamo back, but that was the paranoia spent from Valen.
Jaw still has his own stun to stall out any execute.
G2 are very comfortable in their spots.
Look where Baby Bay is. He's walked down mid. There's 3 players comfortably holding on this A side.
Even a forward line in B main for the Sage, so G2 ready to respond.
It's another round where 20 seconds in, 100 Thieves have no option but to commit.
That Prowler is big. There's never been a solo lurk towards A, so G2 very comfortably are expecting this to be a freeze into an A pop where there's a C's ready for Trent.
Jaw has that stun as well. So much util to flood out those main players.
Another Prowler, Jaw gonna swing with that. First kill goes G2's way. And now the Omen ult has to be canceled. Jogamo dodging away from the utility. He's not blinded up. 100 Thieves have gone absolutely nowhere. They've still got time to play with, but now the walls are closing in. Baby Bay finds himself on a flank, and Valen gets 2 kills unassisted. G2 cannot be stopped, and the in-game leader brings them up to double digits.
Switching sides.
That entire half felt like 100 Thieves was surrounded every round. even when they had a lurk that was off the strong side, Kess was getting flushed out, was getting pressured off his angles. And this was a G2 that had absolutely no trouble stacking the right side and winning in the fight.
Yo! Oh my god, that was the luckiest shit ever. I don't know.
Man, I was trying to say he was like good, but I guess it was lucky. We'll see how lucky they can be after the break.
Game changers.
We're making history.
It means so much to us.
The beauty of gaming is it doesn't matter who you are, but as long as I'm good enough, I can go as far as I want.
全世界都会知道我们的厉害。
Red Bull gives you wings.
G2 are up 10-2 at the half, and I don't think it can feel more cathartic for anyone on that team but Baby Bay.
Why is
Everyone
that,
knows
Baby?
him as a caster now, but the last time he was playing Tier 1, the last match he played was the lower finals of LCQ 2022. His team was 2 games away from making it to champions. He faced 100 Thieves. Asuna, the sole member, left from the team at that time,
How'd
and
it
they
go?
got 3-0'd. He
Man.
got rolled, he played Phoenix, and only got 4 kills on the last map of that one. But now here he
you
is.
didn't have to bring out all the receipts, Mimi.
Hey, but now he's going hard in this game.
Whoa.
Farming on the chambers.
We're already into the round
in.
here. Not a moment to waste. 100 Thieves stacked 4 players up into A main, which I assume G2 saw a bit of, and now respond up into top mid, trying to hunt out a lot of this trips. And after 12 rounds of never seeing a top mid play, G2 are already here.
Cass is so alone.
He's all on his own, down and out.
And rotates could not be farther away. A door is up, a wall is sealed, and G2 get a dreamy post planted.
G2's pistols continue to be immaculate. Now 3 players moving back into B main to respond off of Baby Bay's contact. 100 Thieves slide in for the re-clear, but the teleport's away. It's a bit of a bait and switch.
Self-stun.
Asuna stunning himself, trying to still work back into the site, but G2 won't let them have even an inch. Xander doing a bit of spring shopping in the market. And he won't be long for this world.
2 for 2 on the pistols for G2, and yet again, this is a team that always has an excellent idea for every pistol round. They are fast taking mid control, using the wall to completely cut rotations, and it really feels like a duplicate of the first half where G2 figure out where the 4 members are from 100 Thieves, isolate Kess, execute him, and then have an easy path to a round win.
With 10 rounds won in a row from G2, I think it's safe to say that the 100 Thieves surprise sunset has not paid off. But it will be 100 Thieves being forced up into this round. A little bit of a battle down in mid. Marshall versus Outlaw, but no one finds their mark. And now on the reposition, EU, who's been solid this game, will get a tag down into the IGL.
This map could have been a 13-0. Remember, 100 Thieves' 2 rounds came off of winning an eco and then converting their own anti-eco off of that.
EU back onto the line. Only one of those connects, but now he's down to 10 HP. And I'd say in the battle of the attrition, G2 has come up on top. Now a bit of a fake paranoia towards A. Giacomo making some noise, while Cryo has slipped up into mid. Backstab will grant him a kill.
And that's his 2,000 in VCT Americas. Gets a record on that one.
7th player to do it. The 100 Thieves need more than records. They need rounds. And they have been starving for them. Now moving back into the duelist, Jogmo has crept up into bot mid. Cryo with another. G2 moving back towards main. And 100 Thieves just playing full information right now. Asuna back towards spawn, calls in the teleport of Cryo. G2 should be able to plant the spike, and then it comes down to Jonah P on the walk-up. Full armor, stinger in hand, but doesn't have the kill. We're down to 15 seconds, Mimi. And Baby Bay isn't even here. G2 have taken their sweet time, but 100 Thieves are playing solidly together. They know the aggro is coming. 4 players lined up, ready for this push. Cryo with 3 on the round. He's doing it all on his own. To keep things in it, to keep 100 Thieves alive, they will take another round 2.
An exact duplicate of the first half. And what a play to make there for Cryo. Alone walking down mid to get the opening. Figures out the setup G2's going for. And 100 Thieves finally get to play to one of their strengths. Running that set, brawly retake together. Back onto the A site.
Back off.
Huge work out of him. 3 on the round for Cryo. I think just catching G2 in transition a few times there. G2, once they got stuffed, tried to fall back into their solo players. Jogamo working into bot mid. G2 will have a little something here. Done for Baby Bay, but that's taken out of his hands almost immediately. A stun not going to connect either, so good work out of 100 Thieves to keep these players at bay.
The fight doesn't go their way, but it's interesting to see some of the ideas G2 have on this attacking side. There was a slow warp lineup there to help aid the fight, to trap the players who were pushed up on the defense into that duel, where G2 can then overwhelm with utility and be in an advantage.
Yeah, pretty classic Sage plays on the attacking side is to have those lineups so it stops retreat paths. Regardless of map, you saw it all the time back in the day on Bind, on Fracture.
And if you're talking Sunset, you look at a team like Paper X, who has played the Sage for a long time, and others have copied them. This one is a lot different from what they've ran in the past. For 100 Thieves, if you're talking about a win on this map, they practically need to win this next one. Another walk down mid, this time with 3. And Baby Bay to hold.
Little walk down now. Baby Bay challenge on the left side. Wow, he's sharp with it. Look at him go. Baby Bay has stopped 100 Thieves dead. Only a trade back from Cryo. But look at that B side, Mimi. Nobody's there.
But G2 are holding. They know these players will have to rotate back in, so they wait patiently, and they're rewarded. G2, 12 rounds earned, and it's off of Baby Bay on the multi-kill.
Yeah, we'll see him again in the replay, I'm sure. Adjusting to the off angle EU is on. And even then, being able to focus in, get that second kill with the spray. Real nice out of him.
One enemy remaining.
Last chance for 100 Thieves in this map. They'll take control in A main.
Sort of repeats of these looks for 100 Thieves.
If you contrast to a 100 Thieves who their most default setup was 4-1ing with that solo Cypher lurk, G2 on pretty much every map, you'll largely see them either 1-3-1ing or 2-1-2ing. They almost always are fully spread, fully trying to work lurks in different areas. Valen loves getting that complete picture of the map before committing to any of these harder executes.
You can see Asuna just diving back and forth in spawn right now. He's got a judge in hand, so has to be here. Has to guess the right site, and he's in the right position now. Left alone, though. No support to follow.
Face your fear!
And now the Nightfall. It won't tag him in the corner. Asuna's gonna have to get something done, but there's nothing to be found. Jogamo is so good, man. The rest of G2 move in, but now Xander's responded. Back on site. And now the resurrection. 100 Thieves, even when they start getting some kills, G2 just still have every single answer left.
And somehow in this game, it's 100 Thieves rookie getting stood up by the 30-year-old rookie on G2. An impossible 1v4 for him. Jonah already with the information.
Stuck with a wall in his face, just simply being toyed with. Bebe is
one-on-one.
knifing the wall just to have a good time. They're juggling on them. G2 are taking it the most unseriously way possible. And they stomp on Sunset 13-4. I'm flabbergasted.
What a statement for G2. They hadn't showed this map in the regular season, got through all 5 games, only having to play 4 maps. And now they show up with a double Senti stage comp. And I couldn't think of anything better to counter out this double duelist, to counter out the way that 100 Thieves likes to play. This was perfect prep from G2.